In this lecture, we're going to see how we can overload the stream extraction operator. And this is an operator which is going to extract data from the stream and let the data flow into our program. For example, we have our point object. In the last lecture, we saw how we could overload the output stream operator. In this lecture, we're going to see how we can make our object support the input stream operator. And we are going to make the data flow from the stream into variables that we have in our C++ program. For example, we have a point object. We're going to be reading data from the stream and storing that data in our object so that we can print that and see the information we get from the stream. To make this work, you have to overload the input stream operator. And this is a setup that could allow you to do that. Here is a simple piece of code we did in the last lecture to overload the output stream operator. We can also do the input stream operator really following the same structure. It is just going to be a freestanding global function because we don't want to do it as a member function for the same reasons we saw for the output stream operator in the last lecture. And we're just going to return an iStream object because this is a higher order input stream type we have in C++. And this is going to make our class also work for other kinds of input streams. For example, input streams from files, input streams from the network. So it's going to make our class much more usable and user-friendly. We're going to return std iStream as you see here. We're going to specify the name of our operator. It's going to be operator input stream. And then the first parameter is going to be a stream object. The second parameter is going to be a point object. We want to pass this by const reference because we want to modify this in the body of this function. That's the whole point of this input stream operator, to grab data from the input stream and put that data in our object here. So this object needs to be modifiable. That's what we do here. Inside, we're going to set up two local variables that we're going to be using to read data from the stream. We're going to tell the user some information. Please type in the coordinates for the point, and they are going to be separated by spaces. The user is going to type them in, and we're going to grab this in one go. As we see here, we're going to chain our input stream operators, and then we're going to store the data in our point object. We're going to modify the member variable mx, and we're going to modify the member variable my, and we're going to store in our data here. And after that, we're going to return our stream object because we want to chain our operators, and this is going to do what we want. Now that we know this, we're going to head over to Visual Studio Code and see how we can put this together. Okay, so here we are in our working folder. The current project is stream extraction operator. We are going to grab the files from the last project and use these as our starting point because we don't want to be setting up a point class at this point. We have it set up so we can just reuse it. We're going to put the files in here, and then we're going to open this in Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is going to give us our types here. We have a point class, and we're going to go in the main function and specify that we want to be able to read from our input stream and store the data in our point objects. So we're going to set up our point object to not contain any data. So it's just going to be P2 here. And we're going to be reading the data through CIN. So we're going to say std cin, and we're going to put the data in our point2 object, and then we're going to print that out. We're going to say std cout. We're going to say p2, and that's going to be the data we print out here because we support the output stream operator already. What we want to support now is the input stream operator that we have on line 9 here. So this is what we want to do. To support this operator, we will need to overload it in our class, and we are going to do this as a freestanding global function. So let's go down here and do that as an inline function. It is going to return std iStream, and we're going to return this by reference because we want to be able to chain things. We're going to say operator, input stream operator. The first parameter is going to be iStream. And we're going to pass this by reference, and we're going to call this is. And the second parameter is going to be our point that we pass by non-const reference. This is important because we want to be able to modify this point parameter in the body of our function here. So we're going to say point, and we're going to pass this by reference, and we're going to say p here. So in the body of our function, we're going to set up two local variables. We're going to say double x and a double y. This is going to do. And then we're going to ask the user to print the information they want to put in our point here. We are just going to go down and put our stdcout statement here. It is nothing complicated. We're going to tell them, please type in the coordinates for the point, and the order is going to be in x, y, and the data for the points is going to be separated by spaces. And after this, we're going to grab the data. We're going to say is because that's the stream we want to be grabbing the data from. So we're going to say is, and we're going to put the data in x, and we're going to chain this and put the data in y. And after this, we need to modify our point object and put the data in. So we're going to say pmx, and we're going to put in x, and we're going to say pmy, and we're going to put in our y value. And after this, we need to return our input stream object to allow operator chaining on this input stream operator. But we have a problem because this is a freestanding global function. Our function is not going to have access to private members of the point class. So we need to make this a friend. This is easy now because we have done this like 1,000 times now. So let's go up and do this. We're going to set up this as a friend. We're going to say friend, and we're going to put this in. And after we do this, the code here is going to work. You're going to see that the squiggly lines are going to go away. And if we go back to the main CPP file, you're going to see that this statement here is working now. And we can run this program to see how it is going to work. The build is going to be good, so this is cool. And we can Control Z to take out this madness that I am typing on line 9 here. We're going to bring up a terminal window. We're going to clear and run Rooster. Now you see that it is going to tell me, please type in the coordinates for the point. The order should be x, y, and you're going to separate your data by spaces. And I am going to type in my things. I am going to put in 22 space 33. If I hit enter, the data is going to be grabbed in our input stream operator. As you see here, it's going to be put in x and y, and then we're going to use the x and y variables to put data in our point object. And then when we print our point object, we're going to have the data I just typed stored in our object here. And this is really cool. This is how you can overload the input stream operator. You should do it as a freestanding global function to be able to support this syntax where the stream object is to the left and the point object is to the right. And as long as you follow this structure, your input stream operators are going to work really well. This is really all I had to share in this lecture. I hope you found it interesting. We are going to stop here in this one. In the next one, we're going to play with a few other arithmetic operators and make our point class really robust because now it has a really good number of operators. So go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.